Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sometimes you don't get on here for I guess a few days or so, and it just seems like you haven't been on since like forever. So it seems like I haven't been on here since forever, but I think I was on here on Sunday. My last time on here was Sunday when I had uploaded my video for Father's Day. If you haven't seen that video, please go on to my channel. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. If you like any of my content, you can click that notification bell, and anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. Today on this video, I may come back on here later and do another video, but this video that I wanted to actually do today, and it can coincide with my Father's Day message about father wounds and the effects of an absentee father. I spoke about the downside, and then I spoke about the upside. And I wanted to talk about this because I want to talk about the city of Chicago. I moved to Chicago in 2005, and I was there up until 2020. I left Chicago last year, and me and my children, we moved to more further west. I really, living in Chicago, one thing I can say is that it's a really huge city. It's a huge city. I think it's up there with like LA and New York. So the commute time, just driving, just getting from place to place is just, it's just really, it takes you forever just to really get to where you need to go around the city, especially if you're driving. And because Chicago is such a huge city, just sometimes if you're just getting from one place to the next can take you like 1 or 2 hours, and that's just in the city alone because it's such a huge city, so the driving is terrible. A lot of people, they do take the train, they use the train and the buses and, Uber and all of that. But I did a lot of driving. And I hated all the driving because it's such a huge city and it just takes you forever to get to just like one place to the next. Also, it's an overpopulated city because it just seems like more and more people are just like pushing in to the city. So it's so overcrowded, it's so overpopulated, it's just so many people there, it's too many people there, and more people are coming in and just crowding up the city. It was a huge city compared to where I have originally came from, because I'm such a small city girl. But what really drew me to leave there is the gun violence. The gun violence is terrible. The killings and the shootings and the gangs and all of that. And a lot of this is actually happening amongst our minorities. A lot of this is happening amongst our African American, predominantly our males. And a lot of it is, many of them are being lost to either the street, or they're being lost to the jail system, or they're being lost to the grave. So what really prompted me to leave Chicago is because of such of just the violence, just the crime, and just how all the shootouts and the drive-bys, and how people would just be sitting in their homes and random gunshots will come through the doors and come through the windows. And I've known situations where somebody has been literally just sitting on their couch, and a random bullet just comes straight through the window and shoot them right in the head. Hold on just a moment. I'm doing a video. Sorry about that. I'm back. Got kids at home. I'm like, I'm doing a YouTube video here. You all have to keep it down. Just gunshots, bullets coming through people's houses and just killing people while they're sitting on their couch, while they're sitting on their front porch, kids riding up and down the street just want to go outside and just play because they're so tired of being so just stuck up in the house, and they're outside and they're riding their bikes, or they're just riding their little scooters up and down the street. And next thing you know, you have people that just want to decide that they just want to start shooting at each other. And kids, so many children have lost their lives, even in the area that I've lived in. So many children, so many mothers and fathers had to go through having to bury their young children, their young toddler, their young preschooler, and it's just really sad. And it's just really sad that parents having to deal with so much of losing their children due to just all the shootings and all the killings, and the gangs are into it, and people there claiming territory. This is my territory, and anybody else comes on this territory, and all of that. So that was the reason why I really left Chicago, because all the time I was there, because I also have two children. I have a son and I have a daughter, and I was just like, I just believed that it was better, and I just wanted to leave there. I was living in an area that was just as bad as many of the areas in the city of Chicago. I was living on the west side, more closer towards Maywood, and it was a lot of drug and gang infestation. There was times like right over like the next corner, somebody killed, somebody shot, police, ambulances. Every time you look around, they're putting up cameras, police cameras. It just was really bad there. And when it comes to, this is what I'm going to say, when it comes to actually either moving or living in the city of Chicago, like if you're considering moving there, I would not recommend that you move to the city of Chicago, especially if you have small children, if you're just an average person, maybe a single parent. I wouldn't recommend anyone moving to Chicago. It's cool to go visit there because there is the downtown area, there's so much to do in the downtown area. It's so much to actually see in the Chicago area, but to actually move there, live there long term, I would not recommend it. And what I really found out is I think this past weekend, I think it was like just over, and this was a lot of that was going on in the city too, just over a span of just a weekend. I mean, just continuous just shootings and gun violence and tragedies, and those rushed off to the hospital on being threatened by just having to deal with being shot, and young people, old people just losing their lives due to gun violence. And this past weekend, I think 54 people were shot. I think 8 of those was fatalities. So 8 people lost their lives. And this is what I wanted to touch on in this video, because the whole time I was there, the whole time I lived in Chicago, this is what I dealt with, just continuous, and I'm just truly blessed, me and my children, how God just protected us and how he shielded us, and he kept us out of harm's way, but yet he provided better for us. He provided a better living environment and living situations for us, and I'm so thankful that he made a way for us to just get out of that city and just leave the city and move, But what I wanted to say is that the mayor of Chicago said that a lot of the violence is due to internal. And what she meant by that is a lot of people just in their hearts and in their spirits, this is their inner man, their inner self. This has nothing to do with the physical. It's the spiritual. And a lot of people are just hardened. Their hearts are hardened. They are callous. People are cold. People are just so mean and cruel. A lot of cruelty, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of madness, a lot of rage, a lot of resentment. It's a lot of unforgiveness. And if you're walking around and if you have all of that bottled up inside of you, it's only going to kill your spirit. So it's only going to harden your heart more. It's only going to make your heart more callous And then on top of that, the people, your environment, the people that you're choosing to hang out with, your environment, the places that you're choosing to go and hang out with also plays a part in just your inner self being so hardened. It's like toxicity. It's like being poisoned, being poisoned. There's no joy. There's no peace. There's no happiness. It's just complete darkness. And that's what she said when she says that this is internal. When people rise up every day and when they don't even acknowledge the fact that God brought them over to see a new day, but yet they wake up and they're ready to go out and take somebody's life. They're ready to go out and shoot somebody. They're ready to go out and get a gun and hang out and watch somebody so that they can try to kill them. This is what's going on with a lot of people today, that this is what they're waking up and this is what they are ready to do and this is what they have their minds on, due to the fact of just a hardened heart and just a spirit that is so callous. And when people rise up and say, well, I don't care, and when people don't care about their life, when they don't love themselves, they go out and they don't have a problem and they won't think twice about going out taking the life of somebody else. They don't have a problem with going out taking the life of another human being, when they don't care about their own life, when they're so in tune with, retaliation and trying to get back at somebody and trying to seek revenge, you know what I'm saying? And this is what's going on in the city. This is what's going on just around us in this world. But what I found out is it's so known and it's just so obvious in the city of Chicago. And they brought in a new superintendent, and I remember when he first came on, we were still living in Chicago, but my take on it is he really didn't realize what he was getting himself into, by taking on being superintendent of the police department and things of that. And he's actually have had to see it firsthand, even coming on as being new, right off the bat, taking on the superintendent job, that he didn't realize, like, wow, what he was really, really up against. But that this is what is actually going on, because people are just so hardened, their spirit, and so much toxicity, and they're holding so much within themselves. And I spoke of this on my message on Sunday about father wounds, the effects of an absentee father, where there's so many wounds, there's so many open wounds that are standing in the way. And when someone don't care about taking the life of even those who are innocent, or just going out and taking the life of somebody else just in revenge or retaliation, is someone that just does not care about themselves, is someone who does not have love. When you can live your life this way every day, all day, because hurt people. So when you're hurting, you want to go out and you want to cause harm, and you want to see other people hurt because you're hurting, and you feel like, I want to hurt somebody else because I don't want to be the only person hurting. And this is just what happens when it's internal, when there's so much rage and so much hatred and so much resentment and so much unforgiveness. And when you just go out there in the streets and live your life and being in such toxic environment and hanging out with other toxic people, it just pours into you, and that toxicity, which is like a poison, it just flows through your inner self, your inner man. It kills your spirit. There's no joy. There's no joy. There's nothing good that would ever come forth from a heart, from a spirit, that way. And I just wanted to talk about that, because when it comes to internal, because the Bible lets us know that we fight not against flesh and blood, but we're fighting against principalities, powers, rulers of darkness in the heavenly realm. We are fighting against the enemy and his demonic spirits. But when God is not present, when God is not there, when God is not in your life, then the enemy takes you over, where he just completely possesses you with his spirit. It's called, being demon possessed, because the Spirit of God isn't there, and the Spirit of God does not reside in that inner self, in that inner man, in that person's spirit. So what's left is just what's demonic, and it's really sad. It's really sad, that a lot of this is going on, but this is just the world that we live in. Scripture tells us that Satan is the god of this world. He's the prince and power of the air, and but God is our safety net. God is our protection. God is the one who covers us and shields us. And this is what I say, just in a day's time, this is what I want to say, that I've gotten to a place where it's a blessing, and it's the little things that matter. And this is why I've gotten to a place. It's a blessing to lay down at night in peace. It's truly a blessing to be able to lay down at night. Not only just lay down, but lay down in peace. It's a blessing to rise, and it's a blessing for God to allow us to rise in the morning and just be so thankful for just to see a new day, just the opportunity that he has given us. And it's truly an honor just to wake up in the morning, and acknowledge the Father and just give him the praise, and being able to lay down at night in peace, peace in your mind, peace in your spirit. And that's just what I want to say, as far as it is internal. It is, it's the spiritual. It has nothing to do with the physical. But what's happening is a lot of us are going out here, many of our young men, and even our young women, when it comes to the minorities, that we're going out here, we're taking matters into our own hands, and we feel like shooting somebody or killing somebody or going after somebody, that this is going to solve the issues that we're having, when it's so far beyond and it's so above that. This thing is nothing. It has nothing to do with the physical. It's what's going on in a person's spirit, and what's going on in their mind, what's their state of their heart, the condition of their heart, the matters of their hearts. This is what it has to do with. But we're trying to approach something spiritual with physical, and that will never work, because it has nothing to do with physical. It's all spiritual, and you cannot win a spiritual battle when you approach it from a physical perspective. You cannot win. Let me say that again. You cannot win a spiritual battle when you approach that thing from a physical aspect or from a physical view. When you approach that thing from the physical, you will not win it. You will not win it. And that's what I wanted to get on here and say. I just wanted to get on here and say that it is spiritual. It is what a person, the state of their heart, the condition of their heart, their mindset, their inner self, their inner man, and a lot of what is flowing. The Bible talks about the heart is deceitful above all things, that it's morally sickened, and when you are toxic, and when you are so hardened because you have allowed yourself to hold on to such rage and anger and resentment and hatred and unforgiveness, and the more you hold on to that, the more it eats at your inner self, your inner man, and it breaks you down, and it causes you to be even more toxic, and it causes you it breaks you down, and it just brings you further and further down to a place of darkness. And when you think of that, what good? When you just think of that, when you think of just darkness and harden and toxicity, it's like, what good can flow from that? Nothing good can flow from that state. Nothing good can flow from that condition. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to get on here and say that if you haven't subscribed to my channel, If you like any of my content, you can subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell, and anytime I upload a video that you will be notified. In the meantime, you just be safe out here and keep God first. Thank you. Bye.